decision has been made, and the coach will take the penalty.
Okay, break. Down.
Out of the gun to give to the back. And he's swallowed up at the line of scrimmage by the big defensive tackle. Let's talk for just a minute about Nebraska. You start the season top 25. Clearly expectations are flying your way, but with that might come some roadblocks.
Well, I think you got to take every week and every opponent one at a time. The number beside your name doesn't matter right now. The number matters late in the season. So you want to start the season fast. You want to be gelling on offense and on defense. I think that's the challenge early.
Absolutely. Figuring out who you are. Obviously some talented pieces, well thought of in the top 25, but a lot of season to go out and prove it. Day one, game one. Make that first impression.
Bringing the heat. And the pressure gets him back at the 8-yard line.
Man, you talk all week about setting the tone, quieting this crowd. Don't let him get involved. You know how you do that? Get a sack and force a punt on the first possession of the football game. That's a heck of a start for this defense.
Hauls it in, looking for space. Will be guided out of bounds, but not before a nifty return on that one. This place is roaring, and it's going to be so hard to operate under these conditions. Using his legs and guys, let's look big picture Miami. Their offseason just what they were looking for. Top 10 recruiting class. Now they've got to figure out how to best use that talent, Jesse.
Well, not just difference makers in this top 10 class, but they've got some guys that they think can be key contributors both on offense and defense. And in this first game, you know they've got to be excited.
Yeah, and they're probably nervous too, right? Like first big-time stage, big-time moment. A lot of young talent. Let's see how they start their career.
Catch in the middle, it's Cook. And it'll go take it to the end zone. Touchdown, Hurricane. They draw first blood, and that is exactly what you want to open the season with a drive like that.
One of the reasons this offense is so exciting to watch, they've got guys that are dangerous after the catch. And if this quarterback gets through his progression, David, hits you in stride, these guys will take it to the house.
Man, it's your job to do the rest, right? You hit me in stride where I don't have to stop running. I don't have to break down. It makes it so easy. The connection between quarterback, wide receiver, you can tell this is a good one, and that's why they got 6 on that play.
Not nearly as much as he'd hoped when he brought it out of the end zone. He'll be stopped at the 15. Ready to go back to work on offense. They went 3 and out on their first possession. Now to see if they can be more productive this time around. Got a man. It's key. And good coverage by the defense. Just a short game.
I'll tell you, man, I love quarterbacks that have arm talent, but that can throw it accurately at the same time. And you saw all of it on that in route.
Picked up some yardage with that completion. Now 2nd down. Looking to pass. It's Hill. Throws to the wideout. Tosses it incomplete.
Offenses should focus on their guys and making sure so-and-so guys get so-and-so touches. And, you know, listen, they're featuring this guy. They're going to throw it to him. He's going to be the primary target a lot of times. I can't be reckless, but I definitely have to find my way to get that guy the ball.
Hitting just inside their own 20. They need to convert on 3rd and short. From the gun, wants to pass. Quarterback just missed it. Incomplete.
I want to give a shout out to the defense there on 3rd down, doing a really nice job disguising their coverage because it looked like they confused the quarterback on 3rd down. Really nice job getting back into that zone and making sure that ball falls incomplete.
The Huskers will line up to punt it away. This will be the second time they've had to kick it away.
That's a nice-looking run, man, and what a legacy here when you think about Edgerrin James and Frank Gore, Willis McGahee, Clinton Portis, game breakers at the running back position. This guy, he seems like he's destined to play on Sunday.
Dances away. Gets rid of it. Short corner sideline, puts up just a little. And he goes out of bounds after coming up with positive yardage there.
When you run this out route, you know you're starting to get close to the sidelines. I know I got to start slowing down and find a way to drag or get one toe, a pinky toe, a big toe, whatever I can.
And the quarterback will be slammed down back to the
great job on the defense dropping so coverage, all eyes on the quarterback, taking away the options in the pocket, the pass rush gets going, gets him on the ground.
And they just want to give this guy a chance to make a play on third down, and more times than not, he is going to deliver.
He's so good, so efficient, such a good route runner, got the speed, got the complete game, so you definitely want to highlight him, and especially on those downs that matter the most. If something's not quick underneath, find him, he'll make those contested catches.
Well, there was just nowhere to go for the runner on that last play, just way too much penetration up front. As a result, they lose yardage.
Going to work in the red zone. They can't pick up the first down without getting it into the end zone. Wants to fire on second down. How about that way to get a hand in there and force the incompletion?
You know, it's so important for corners to be able to transition, right? You got to have really loose hips. You got to be able to change direction on a dime. In zone coverage, when you see the ball thrown, you can break on it and force incompletions like that.
This crowd knows they have to bring it in big moments, and one of those has arrived. On third down, he drops the throw. He makes a grab, and he won't be able to get in as the defense gets him down at the one. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. And the Canes line it up with a first and goal. Touchdown, Miami! Fired in from the red zone for the score.
I know we're only in game one, but in this half, you've got to be excited about what you've seen from this offense. Really nice rhythm. Quarterback's got great command on the field with respect to what they're trying to do, and they've got some weapons. I can't wait to see what this offense does this year.
Getting set for the point after. And the extra point makes it 14-0. We check in with Kevin Connors. What's going on, Kevin?
Fellas, it's gone final in a huge top 25 showdown. Here's how it went down. Ohio State looked dominant in a victory that was never really in question. That offense had zero problem putting up points. Not unlike the days of Stroud and Fields and so many greats before them. A collision between ranked teams
That's right. The opponent, they're firing on all cylinders right out of the gate. Offensively, for this unit, they've been slow and struggling. They need an explosive play to wake themselves up.
Yeah, and it's just the first quarter, so it's not the end of the world. You've seen slow starts, but you got to continue to pick and pick and pick until you find that play or that scheme that you can use against this defense.
And he never had a chance. Just stopped cold as soon as he got it.
And that's why he is an All-American caliber player. He is just so physical and dominant against the run. He's able to shed blockers, use his athleticism, use his speed, get to the ball carrier and bring him down. Simply one of the best box defenders you're going to find in the entire country. Yeah, and obviously great play by the offense to keep the drive alive, and also a good find by the quarterback on third down.
And the Huskers have it with a 1st and 10. Leaves it with the running back. Finding over the area. Gets it all the way down to the 39-yard line. It'll be a 1st down.
That's a great-looking run there. Nebraska has had such a great lineage at running back. When you think back to the great Roger Craig or Amon Green, Lawrence Phillips, or Rex Burkhead, they always seem to be pumping somebody up into the NFL. This guy has a chance to play on Sunday because of his skills.
Oh, that hit him in a bad spot, right in the hands. Great play. You still get a pass breakup, but man, that could have been an interception by the defender there. Nice break on the football, but secure that big fella and get the 6. Get the pick 6.
The screen, he can go. Makes the stop at the 33-yard line, but it's a pickup of 15. A 1st down, and this offense is smelling the end zone. Sixth play of the drive coming up. Quarterback may change this route. Dropping back, it's Green. He makes the grab. He's brought down, but there's a flag on the field. Let's see what the call is. We'll repeat the previous down, but this time the offense has 10 more yards it has to cover. Line gets set, 1st down. Takes a snap, wants to throw. Rushes on him. Hit hard just as he released it on 1st down and just couldn't get it to the receiver.
We're already in the 1st quarter, but already you get the feeling this could be a long day for this QB. He's already been sacked. He gets hit right there on the incomplete throw. They've got to find a way to do a better job up front of protecting this guy, or it's going to be difficult to put up points.
And the incompletion brings up a 2nd down. Wants to keep it in the air. He uncorks a laser deep down the middle. And it's picked off at the goal line. Takes it the other way. Made a defender miss. Returns it down to the 47-yard line, and his defense thrives on taking the football away.
Nothing going right for this team early in the 1st quarter here. The defense is getting gashed, and now you've thrown a pick. The head coach has got to get his team together and get everybody to calm down and settle in.
And this defense, they've got to do a big job here. Like, offense puts you in a bad spot. You haven't had some great moments, but this possession, we got to get a stop, got to stop the bleeding, and get the ball back to our offense.
Creates a little room. Brought down at the 20-yard line after ripping off the big play.
What a start for this offense throwing the ball. I love how they've come out in this game, and they've been aggressive. They've already scored a touchdown, and here they are taking another shot and getting a big play. If you're on defense, you've got to find a way to slow this quarterback down.
On the run, it's Pringle. Stopped in the backfield. He's going to lose 3 yards on the play.
At this part of the field in the red zone, offensively, bringing all these tight ends in the game, you'd like to be more physical at the point of attack. That's why you're bringing the big bodies in, but they couldn't get it done up front, and as a result, it's a negative play.
They bring him down, but a solid pickup to put them in position to pick up a 1st down.
And you put those slot receivers
take a quick look at our game stats. They've got a first down here to open the period. Running back searching for a hole. Stacked up after gaining a couple to the 23.
It's definitely too early to panic, but there's some bad feelings going on for this offense right now. You're way down on the scoreboard. I know we're still in the first half, but after that last play, it's pretty obvious. You can't run the ball. You're becoming a one-dimensional offense at a time when you need to be able to score some points. So either get it done through the air or you've got to be more physical up front.
Nowhere close on that one as he got drilled trying to deliver the football, and now they face third down. Trying to pick up a first down. Back to throw, it's Hill. Going for the big play. And that one's incomplete. They weren't just trying to move the chains. They were trying to move the scoreboard. Instead, it's fourth down.
Well, we know this offense hasn't been able to get it going on the ground so far in this game. Now they're trying through the air, but give this defense credit. They've got a really good game plan. They've got all 11 guys on that side of the ball executing perfectly. Fantastic job in the back end that time, being in position and making sure that thing fell incomplete.
The Cornhuskers will punt it away on fourth down. A low line drive and not his best work. And to make sure he doesn't get a return on this one as the punt bounces out of bounds. Here comes the Hurricane offense looking to gather a little more strength. They've had a really productive first half so far, and they'll try to add to it here. Soft spot in the middle. Stopped at the 43 after the 15-yard pickup.
Nice job reeling in that catch. And listen, when you say Miami Hurricane football, to me, I think about burners at the receiver position. Michael Irvin, Andre Johnson, Santana Moss, Reggie Wayne, who I played with in the Senior Bowl. These guys...
He's got it inside the 30. They finally get to him, but what a play there to pick up the first down.
That's what's so scary about this offense. They've got guys in the perimeter that can change the game in one single play, and you saw it right there. Too much speed on the perimeter to create that explosive play.
They keep count of their number of explosive plays, and that last one has them set up first and 10 at the 19. And there was nowhere to go, just stopped in his tracks in the backfield.
That's a fantastic play by the linebacker. He has such tremendous instincts. As soon as he sees run, he's coming downhill. He's got great speed. He gets you on the ground. That's why he's one of the best linebackers in the entire country.
Got it in the middle. It's Cook. He hauled that one in and got it down to the 15-yard line.
Nice job by the receiver on the in route there. How about the speed after he made his break? He was able to actually separate a little bit from the DB, helping out his QB on that one.
This crowd knows this defense needs them right now. On third and long, trying to have a big completion here. Finds his big tight end. That's not quite going to be enough as they stop him 4 yards short of the mark. And they'll send the field goal team back out for the second time tonight. This whole play is going to see if this kicker can operate in a sea of noise. And let's check in with Kevin Connors in the studio. Kevin?
Hey, guys, we've got a final in a game that just wrapped up here in the SEC. Florida dominated almost from wire to wire. And a game like this makes you harken back to those Chris Lehman, Tim Tebow, Brandon Spikes teams that won it all in 2006 and again in 2008. Going to be very interesting to see what the fallout from this one is because, as we know, you can't lose games in the SEC like this without some blowback.
Yeah, how about that? Sounds as if they had a good ball game there. Kevin, thanks for the update. Looking for a man. It's Green. They're working that left side. Makes the grab and not quite enough for the first up with a good gain on that play. All right, guys, let's take a minute to think about Nebraska. At some point, with all of the transfer portal talk and guys going in and out, you can score one for continuity with this ball club, can't you, David?
That means your system and your culture is working, because these guys so often are just going for the next opportunity, the next bag of money. Nice job. They kept their guys that they recruited, that they love.
Yeah, it sounds so cliche, but these players really have bought in to this coaching staff and the message and what they're preaching. They all believe they could do something very special this season.
Looking to throw on first down. He rifles one deep to the left. And they can't make the connection, going for a big play on first down.
It just looks to me like the offense is starting to get a little bit impatient, right, guys? They haven't scored in this game yet, and all of a sudden now they're taking shots down the field and they're trying to make it happen. But the defense, they have been lights out. They force another incompletion.
So now it's second and long. Back to pass. Oh, he loves to fire downfield. And it's incomplete after taking a shot on second down. They're staring at third.
You just feel like the sense of urgency is going up for this offense now. They haven't had that many possessions so far in the game, and because they've got no points now, it feels like the quarterback's starting to press. He's trying to make it happen on his own, taking a shot down the field. Another incompletion for this offense. They can't get anything going.
And that's the kind of play that can really get you going as they have a first down at the 43. Give to the running back.
They have just not been able to get this guy into a rhythm so far in this game. I know it's still the first half, but there's been nothing going for him like you just saw in that last run. He's an outstanding talent. You may have to start thinking about throwing him the football, getting him out in the perimeter in space to let him go to work. He's got to touch the ball for you to come back in this game. Right now, running it, though, very difficult.
Incomplete. Man, oh man, is that one this junior would love to have back.
And I think a big reason this offense is struggling right now and why they're trailing on the scoreboard is they have not been able to protect this guy, and it's affected him. He has not looked very accurate. Moving forward, the pass pro has got to be better to help this guy out.
Looking to throw, it's Hill. He took a hit as he threw it and couldn't deliver the football. It's incomplete, and fourth down's coming.
Great job by the defense dialing out some pressure on third down. They hit the quarterback and forced the incompletion.
They're either really confident or a little reckless as they go for it on fourth and long from their own 45. He'll try to throw and pick up the first down. And the incomplete pass, they roll the dice. Snake eyes.
Man, your goal of a defense is to stop them, is to force punts, and then this is just gravy. Now they go for it on fourth down and medium. On their side of the field, you get the big stop and a chance to switch the momentum here in the first half.
And here comes that Miami offense back onto the field. Out of the gun, the running back has it. He is going nowhere. Stop at the line of scrimmage. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. They got nothing on the last play. It's second and 10. Wants to go up top. Here's the heat. Just too much of a rush, and down goes the quarterback just behind the midfield stripe at the 49. Tough linebackers getting after quarterbacks. The Huskers have a rich tradition of that.
Yeah, and you think about the black shirts, and you hear that if you're a Nebraska fan, you know exactly what that means. Guys that are different, guys that see it, that hunt it, that go get the football like this guy just did.
Now a lot of work to do to move the chains, keep this drive alive after that earlier sack. On third and long, you'll need to push it downfield. And the incomplete pass will bring up fourth down.
This is a disappointing drive for the offense considering where this drive started in their opponent territory. Now you're fourth and long. You've got to be better throwing the football in those types of situations.
He'll field the punt. He only needs a sliver of daylight. Boy, did he show it all on that return. The speed, the explosiveness. It took a little momentum with him out of bounds.
jump the route and you make the plays and you just go get in that end zone. It is so beautiful.
They'll try to tack one more on their score. The kick is up and good and put one more on the lead. Kickoff unit on the field, and this defense will be called on to protect this lead. From a couple of yards deep, he'll bring it out. Really disciplined job by the coverage unit to get down there and make the stop at the 19. Let's see if they can get something going here late in the half. Wants to adjust the pattern. Back to pass, it's Green. Back open in the middle.
Sometimes it just takes one explosive play to turn things around. After that beautiful completion deep to the offense, that should give them a little confidence, a little momentum. They've now got to be able to score points on this drive.
He works his way inside the 30 down to the 29 and picks up the first down. This offense always looking for those big explosive plays, and now they've got it just inside the 30. Under fire. Hit hard as he released the ball on that first down pass, and it never had a chance.
The offense just has not been able to find a way to get their rhythm going here in the first half. We just haven't seen it in the passing game. That was a really good example of it again. If they're going to score more points in the second half, they've got to make some adjustments here at halftime.
Couldn't connect on first down, now back to the air. This time it's complete.
And quarterback dropping back, understanding I'm getting zone coverage. All I got to do is be a little bit patient, manipulate that defense a little bit. My wide receiver runs that drag, and I get the first down.
The Huskers come to the line trying to find a way to convert on third and very short. Looking to throw for it. Tight end finds a certain spot. Huge gain before he goes out of bounds, and now they've got it first and goal.
That is so deflating on defense, too, because in your own red zone, third down, you need to make a stop. You know they're going to throw to the weapon at tight end, but it's one thing to draw it up on the blackboard. It's another thing to go execute and prevent that guy from catching it.
Grab the short pass to number 6 on the board.
Nice job getting the passing game going. This is big, man. Going into half, listen, I know you're trailing, but building some momentum. Maybe this second half we can keep airing the football out, cutting into this deficit, and who knows what the heck will happen.
And now they'll empty the backfield for the two-point try. Wants to throw. It's Hill. And that ball was in harm's way, and he is lucky to get that one back. Kickoff unit is out there again, and this crowd is feeling themselves after that last drive. And no chance at a return. Here they'll start this drive at their own 25. They'll put this one in play. First snap of the drive from the 25. Defense trying to keep this offense from getting a line on who to block. Fires to the middle. And the defense making a play and getting a hand on that pass.
Well, that DB basically could have just ran that route for the wide receiver. He was all over him. There was no shot that receiver was going to be able to make that play. Beautiful job by the defensive back.
Backed up now. Here's second and long. Looking to fire. Here comes he. And he was hit just as he was releasing the pass, and it falls to the ground incomplete. Offense calls a timeout here. Critically important to make sure they have the right play call and everyone on the same page here. They come to the line facing a 3rd and long from the 25. From the gun, wants to pass. Right down the middle. Oh, man, another incompletion. That's 3 in a row.
Well, here's an interesting situation after that incompletion for the offense all of a sudden, because you've had success. You've scored 2 touchdowns on your first 2 drives. You've got to be playing with a lot of confidence. Does that carry over and make you feel like going for it here on 4th down? You've got the playmakers. You've made some big plays early in this game. Field position would say you should punt it, but what does the head coach decide to do?
Plenty of time left in the half here as they take over, but they will want to be efficient here in the final 2 minutes. To the air, it's Green. Quarterback now on the run, still looking. It'll be incomplete. Tried to extend the play, but just couldn't find anybody open.
There's a lot of QBs that when they get hit and when they get hurried and when they get pressured, they become very average. Really nice job by the defense pressuring the quarterback.
Try to make up for some of that lost ground on 2nd down. They'll run play action. Looking to the big tight end. And he throws another interception. His 3rd one of the night. Finally brought down, but what a play, not only to get the football, but to flip the field position with the return.
As a quarterback, you've got to give your receiver an opportunity to make the play. You've got to put the ball on his body. And that throw gets away a little bit from the QB, and that leads to the tip and the interception.
Plenty of time to work, not any time to waste as they take over here in the final 2 minutes of the half. Looking downfield on 1st down. Pulls it in, it's Cook. And the defense had that one well covered, just a short gain there.
Well, you can tell those two have been practicing the out route all off-season long. They look like they could have completed that in their sleep.
Tight end in motion, see how the D reacts. Wants to throw, he's working against the clock. Finds his tight end. And he's knocked down immediately, but a good pickup on that play.
Well, you hear all the time that the tight end's the QB's best friend. You saw a perfect example of it on that last play, right? 2nd down, you need to pick up some positive yards to keep this 3rd down manageable. Really nice job of executing that.
On 3rd and short, they'll try to throw for it. Caught close to the marker, it's Pringle. Breaks into the open. And he'll step out of bounds just short of the goal line. Almost a touchdown, but not in there yet.
It feels like everything this play caller has called has worked so far in this first half for the offense. They've generated a really nice lead, lighting up the scoreboard, and they're staying aggressive. They're throwing the football. They're dictating everything right now to the defense.
This offense has put on a display in the first half, and they have a chance to tack another one on before the break. He's got the tight end. Touchdown, Hurricane! They wanted to finish, and that they did on that possession.
And this is blowout city. This offense has been up and down the field. We've seen explosive plays. They score again here right before halftime. I don't know, guys. I mean, can we do running clock in the 2nd half?
And the extra point will tack another one onto this lead. Quick work on that scoring drive, just 4 plays. And it was finished off with a 2-yard touchdown toss. Kickoff unit back to work, and they have been busy as they've built this sizable lead. And he hauls it in, and everybody's on the edge of their seats. He just about popped that one for a long one, but as it is, he gives his team a lot of momentum with a solid return. To the air, it's Hill. Just a short pass to the tight end. That should be the final play of the first half. That's going to wrap up the first half here, and now we join Kevin with the halftime update. The Hurricane offense looking to gather a little more strength. Let's see if they can keep that first half momentum rolling. Crosses the 30 to the 31, a 6-yard gain.
Definitely been tough sledding for this guy, especially in the first half. They gave him the ball a bunch, but I just don't have a ton of yards on the ground to show for it at this point. That looked like a pretty good run, though. You just wondered maybe in the second half, if they keep giving him the football, it may start paying some dividends.
The give to the back. Creates a little space. Really nice pickup there as they have it out to the 44 with a first down.
This shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. If you've got the lead in the third quarter and you want to keep it, you got to bleed the clock. Best way to do that, run the football. And you're now seeing this offense call these run plays back to back. They are trying to be physical, and they're trying to stay on the field.
Fires to the big fella. And a good job of coverage by that defense. Just a short pickup.
I think that time offensively, you're just trying to take what the defense is giving you, right? They're playing zone coverage. You got your big fella just working right over the ball. It's an easy pitch and catch. Just take the profit, and let's keep going.
Behind the chains now on 2nd and long. They'll move the wide receiver. 2nd down, he'll throw it. It's incomplete, and that also might be what is called a learning experience, and one this freshman got away with. After the 2nd down misfire, looking at a 3rd and 8. Motion from the wide receiver. On 3rd and long, he's going to have to throw for it. Makes the catch. It's Moore. Nice job to pick up the first down, and they'll spot it at the 42. 3rd down, a lot of times it comes down to not necessarily who's the most open, who do you trust the most?
No, it's not about the X's and the O's. It's about the Jimmies and the Joes. And when my guy's better than you and I get you matched up out wide and I know I trust you, I'm finding you.
They'll run it from the gun. Oh, gives him the tough stiff arm. And he was able to run through a tackle, and they finally get him, but not until he picks up the first down.
This is going to be a big key for him, David, with the lead here in the second half, running the football, right? Staying on the field and bleeding the clock.
Yeah, run the football. You're ahead. You can be a little bit more conservative. But again, this opens up the pass. This keeps everything in balance for the Steelers.
Knocked down behind the line. Boy, he powered through one tackler, but there were more there to greet him.
And if this defense wants to get back in the football game, they've got to match the physicality of this offense. And that's a great start here in the second half. Like coming out, not letting them run the football, being the more physical and more aggressive team.
He's taking the shot. And it slips through his fingers. Incomplete. That would have been a huge gain if he could have squeezed it.
Yeah, and you
fourth down, man, just go for it every time. Like, the field goal miss, make rate. And listen, kickers have improved the last couple of years, but...
Gets it to the 46-yard line. First down for this offense. And the Huskers will hustle to the line.
What a phenomenal job in the open field, breaking off the long run, and they're not going to just take their time and huddle up to get the next play called. They're right back at the line of scrimmage, going tempo.
A huge play there, and they finally get him out of bounds at the 37.
That's a huge throw for the offense, but they're down by a ton. We're going to need a lot more of that, and it's not going to be easy considering the defense knows they're probably going to be throwing the ball every play here in the second half moving forward.
And it's his fourth interception tonight. Picked up a few extra on that return, but what a play by this defense to get the football.
And talk about being an impact player for his defense. That's now his second interception in this game. Time and time again, when they've thrown his direction, he's come up with a big play. And in a tight game like this, those two interceptions, that is massive for this defense.
Looking for room. It's Pringle. He's stopping behind the line of scrimmage. He ran through one guy, but not through the rest.
And you're seeing on both sides, really hard to run the football in this one. You've got to give both of these defenses tons of credit. They are so physical up front. These defensive lines can take the game over, and right now, it's tough sledding on the ground.
Second down, they'll go to the air. And he can't connect on the throw. It's incomplete. Make up the game plan and not a lot on the play sheet for this. Third and long from inside their own 20. From the gun, wants to pass. All kinds of room to throw that one in there. And they'll get it to the 39-yard line, and they'll move the chains.
Well, this defense is going to have to find a way to start mixing up their coverages. They're in a tough spot. They're down right now, so most people would think the opponent would be running the ball, but when you've had the success these guys have had throwing it, you're going to see more shot plays, and you better change your looks up to try and get a takeaway to get back in this game.
And the Canes will have it first and 10.
Here we go, set.
And they won't be able to connect downfield, looking for a big-time play.
On that RPO play, I don't hate the decision by the quarterback not to hand it off and throw it deep down the field. I just don't like the throw. Not an accurate throw. He never got his feet back underneath him after riding the running back and not handing it off. He's got to do a better job with his fundamentals to hit that throw because that play was there to be made.
You run the slant route day one, and this is something that the quarterback and the wide receiver has done 100 million times out there on the field in the offseason. I see man-to-man coverage. I know I can run the slant. Boom. Stick my foot in the ground, throw it, completion to my wide receiver.
Wants to go up top on first down. And that incomplete pass caused by the big hit on first down. Second down coming.
Well, the offense has had their way all game long up to this point. Finally, the defense is able to make a play. And I'll tell you, after that hit, that receiver, he's going to be thinking twice about running that route again.
Plenty of distance between them and the sticks here on second down. They just keep firing. It's picked off, and they ruin the drive with a turnover. And they'll close in on him after a good return on the interception.
If you don't have good vision, you're not going to be a middle-of-the-field safety. You got a lot of ground to cover from hash to hash. You better be able to see the quarterback. You better be able to see routes and break on the football. Nice job seeing the formation, seeing the route, breaking on it, and making the interception.
They try to pop a run on the draw. Picks up the first down. Knocked out of bounds at the 46 after the good pickup on that one.
Oh, what a great play call. Sneak in the draw. The defense clearly thinking pass, flying up the field. No, sir. A little handoff, little sneak attack. Great play call.
Dropping back, it's Green. Going to try to pop one on the screen. And that one looked great on the grease board, but when they blow it up like that, the defense is going to win every time. might be calling a hot route. They'll go to work in the air on second down. He's got him. Knocked off his feet. That big pickup on what they call the drag route, but if you hit it on time, you can hit the turbo booster.
You've got to be accurate on the throw, too, Reese. Nice job by the QB there, putting it out in front of his receiver to make an easy catch and then advance it.
Whoops, someone moved a little bit early. Offense going to pick up a 5-yard penalty. The officials offer the deal, and the coach accepts it. They will take the penalty. They'll have to get it to the 37 on third down.
29 Philly.
From the gun, wants to pass. Quickly to the tight end. Really good surge for this offense. They move the chains, and he's got it at the 34. The Cornhuskers come to the line in the hurry-up.
And it's on third downs like this. If you want to attack the middle of the field, you got to look for...
Looking for the end zone.
Needs a spark, man. Down big. Listen, it's game one. It's not the end of the world, but we got a deficit. Got to put some drives together. Nice drive here. Now the defense needs to do their part because they got to put this thing in turbo.
Arrow. Jackrabbit.
He'll set up to throw. And they almost came up with that pick in the end zone. What a stop that would have been. They're set to kick it off. You think this crowd's going to get loud when their defense comes on the field? No reason to risk trying to field that one as it skips through the end zone. It'll be a touchback.
Those trick plays, man, those misdirections, but the problem is when you stay home and you play the play really disciplined and sound like this defense does, you knock it dead, and a lot of times for a loss, and put the offense in a bind.
Pocket breaking down. Nowhere close on that one as he got drilled trying to deliver the football, and now they face third down.
Yeah, this defense hadn't had a lot of success. This offense has been doing what it wants and will finally getting to the QB, finally getting some pressure, finally getting a big hit on it. That'll pay some dividends down the road.
Not exactly the ideal situation for this offense. Third and long. And he's about to throw it, and now it's loose. The ball's loose. Tackle is made at the 25-yard line, and that'll bring up a fourth down.
And those are so frustrating when you're a defense and you swarm to the football, and you stick the quarterback, and you make him cough it up, just to have the other team recover it again, and you don't get it. Still a good stick, still a good physical play. Keep hitting that quarterback.
Calls for the fair catch, but there is a penalty marker down. Let's see what this is about.
That's just a mental error. On defense, you got to watch the ball. I understand the quarterback shouting and he's clapping and there's all this crowd noise, but you just got to hone in, watch the football before you come out of your stance.
And the Hurricanes will punt this one away. The solid return there offsets some of the punt yardage and really sets up this offense nicely.
On the ready.
They'll give it to the back. A confident, tough, efficient run gets it up to the 44. As they get set to snap it, time winding down here in the quarter. He tosses one high and deep down the left side. They almost had another interception. They're trying to set records out there.
And that's a really good job by this defense being dialed in. You got a big lead. You know exactly what's coming. This offense is going to have to make some explosive plays down the field. They were ready, they were disciplined, and made a good play on the football.
There to make the tackle, and with that, we'll head to the fourth quarter. We've been treated to an aerial show by these two guys so far as you check out their numbers. Just about ready to go in the fourth, and we'll see if any drama can be mustered. They go back to work in the final period of this one.
Easy.
They're going to ride this running back. And a decent gain there before the defense makes the stop. The Huskers in the hurry-up.
I like this idea by the offense going hurry up here. You just had a very nice run. Let's get back up to the line of scrimmage and go fast.
And get to field. What a play there. He whips up a big one all the way to the 16-yard line.
You know, tight ends are such matchup nightmares and problems for defense. They're too big for DBs to cover, and they're too fast for linebackers to cover. You saw it right there.
From the red zone, looking for a receiver. And he really wanted to get the touchdown there, but it's incomplete.
And it's just been that kind of day for this quarterback and this offense, guys. They have never been able to get into a rhythm throwing the football. Timing's been off. Accuracy hasn't been great. We've seen some drops, just not in sync, and that's why they find themselves trailing by a lot right here late in the game.
They're dealing with a second and long. To the air. It's Hill. Lets it fly. And that is his fifth interception. If he comes out the track, the Saints will be lucky. The offense somehow fell on it, and they'll retain possession.
Out of all the ways to get a first down, that's how the offense chose to do it. I mean, make the mistake, throw the interception, Palmer, but heads-up play, force the fumble, and recover it. First down.
42
And, David, you know the quarterback's counting his lucky stars. That was a bad decision.
Touchdown, Colin Husker. Grabbed in the end zone to put 6 on the board.
And I love the play call on offense there. It's a sudden change situation. You just got the turnover. You're now going to take a shot because you got the defense on their heels after they're back on the field quickly. Really nice play call.
Riding up to add another. Splits those uprights right ahead. And for a quick update, let's go to Kevin Connors in the studio.
Boys, if it's happening in college football, we've got eyes on it. Check this out. Texas A&M is trailing right now, but it's only a couple of points. That quarterback just needs to show the poise of a young Johnny Manziel, and they are right back in this. They're trailing by 11 to normal. We will be multitasking today, boys. One eye on that game, one eye on your game. Really the only way to do it.
Thanks for the update on that one, Kevin. Let us know when it goes final. Fires to the tight end. He goes out of bounds, maybe a step shy of the 40. They're going to mark it at the 39, and a really nice pickup there.
And this offense, you can tell, just still feeling confident. Like, they have the lead. It's the fourth quarter. First down, that's not a running play. That's a passing play. They're really in a rhythm, feeling good about themselves.
They'll snap it from the 39. First and 10. Looking to throw on first down. Caught over the middle. It's up short. And they pick up just a few on that completion. What will they dial up on second and a long way to go? Back to pass. It's complete to the right. Oh, there might have been trouble if they had knocked him down so quickly.
This offense is not letting up, guys. They've got a lead here late, and they are still taking shots. They're still looking for explosive plays. This defense just has not had an answer here all game long.
Third down, and the Husker faithful getting loud, trying to make moves to change impossible. Wide open downfield. Tons of running room. And another big game for this offense. They are putting explosive pass after explosive pass up in this one.
Defense just hasn't had an answer for this guy. He has been on point. This is about as good as I've seen him play at the quarterback position. And here in the fourth quarter with the big lead, he's still taking shots.
They'll run it out of the shotgun. He'll be hauled down just inside the 10 at the 9.
defense would be really happy with where they're at right now. They knew they had held their stud down to as little yards, but they're trailing. And this is the time where he's going to get the ball even more. So they got to be ready for him. It's going to him. He's a great back, and they've done a pretty good job all day.
Going to work on second down in the red zone, and still some ground to cover to pick up that first down. He's brought down at the 7-yard line, and they are threatening to take it in. Not a lot of ground to cover and not much to defend. A big third down in the red zone. From the gun, wants to pass. Touchdown, Miami! Quick strike through the air for the score.
And this kind of performance has to give this team so much confidence. Week 1, you go on the road into a hostile environment, and you put the beat down like this. This coaching staff is going to be happy on the ride home.
The kickoff unit is out there, and boy, did that last drive quiet this crowd. And he'll return it and try to get behind his blockers. Really disciplined job by the coverage unit to get down there and make the stop at the 19. The Cornhuskers ready to go back to work on offense. It looks as if this game is going to be one to just drag to the recycle bin, but the idea now is to finish strong and just take whatever happens in the rankings next week.
At this point of the game in the fourth quarter, it is going to be tough for this offense to get some completions here because now, trailing by this much, the defense is expecting pass, and they're putting a whole bunch of extra DBs on the field to help them out in coverage.
Plenty of work to do here on second and long.
Ringo, longer.
Back to pass, it's Green. Pressure coming. And he was hit just as he released it, and it falls to the turf.
And I absolutely love what this defense is doing, man. You know exactly what time it is. You've got a big lead. They're going to have to throw the football. So more nickels, more dimes. Bring the speed on the field and get ready to play the pass.
This defense has kept them backed up. Now one more stop, and they can get off the field on third and long.
Longer. Terrier.
From the gun, wants to pass. Looking for his man. He's missed 3 in a row now with that last incompletion. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. Down by multiple possessions, you can't come up empty on this drive. They'll go for it on fourth down. He'll try to throw and pick up the first down. Makes the grab, got the conversion, and still going. And they finally get him to the ground. An easy conversion for this offense. Defense not exactly the perfect fourth down call there. Wants to throw on first down. Rifles it down the middle. He's got him. They get him stopped, but the big gain has him on the doorstep. Let's mark it at the 13.
On the ball.
And the Huskers headed quickly to the line. Trying to cap this drive with the pass. Blasted as he lets it go. Got a hand on it nicely and broke it up in the end zone.
No harder position to play in a ball game than the offensive line. You know, tonight in this game, you're down by a lot. You know you have to pass the football. Man, it's a tough job to protect up front, and they definitely struggled on that play.
It'll be second down, and remember, they can pick up a first without scoring.
Okay, ready. Military stun.
They'll send the back in motion. Looking to throw again. Got his man on the outside. They'll get it down to the 8-yard line on that throw and catch, and the defense is backed up against the wall.
Face bait.
And off from the shotgun. They'll make the stop about 3 yards short of the first down. It would take a miracle to get back in this game, but any miracle will have to start with this fourth down conversion.
Hey, flyer.
He'll try to throw and pick up the first down. And the fourth down pass falls incomplete, and they'll have to give up the football.
I think that play right there has been a big theme in this game. When it matters the most, on big-time down and distances, this defense has been able to step up and make the play when they need it most. That fourth down, great job in the back end in coverage, forcing the incompletion with a big lead now, creating a turnover on down.
Yeah, it's make or break time for this defense now. They got to get a stop, and if that's bringing more bodies in, bringing more beef in, they're running the football right up the gut, right at you. They're not going to throw the football in this situation. Time to be more physical and get this big stop.
Makes his way ahead, pick up a 3, and gets it to the 20-yard line.
And here's the mindset if you're on offense. Fourth quarter, you've got a huge lead. Obviously, you're going to run the football, but just be aware of the clock. You don't want to snap it too quickly. You're probably just doing safe runs inside the tackles like you saw right there. You just got to execute. You got to be aware, but you've got this game in hand so long as you don't turn it over.
Clock stops. We have reached the 2-minute timeout, and this offense just a couple of minutes away from putting one in the win column. Working well behind the sticks on second down. On the ground, trying to pull the plug on this clock. Defense uses a timeout quickly, trying to get that ball back and preserve time for their offense.
And I tell you what, it's really nice at this point in the game if you can lean on your run game. When you have the lead, you've got the football late in the game, you can chew that clock and start to really make that defense have a little bit of panic.
The Canes come to the ball, trying to pick up his 3rd and short. He's looking to pass. Trying to set up the screen. That'll be enough for a fresh set of downs. He gets it to the 32.
Nice job by the running back catching the football and understanding where the first down marker was. I got to go get that first down. He did a nice job of it.
The Hurricanes will line it up on 1st and 10. The give to the running back from the shotgun. Just sort of a relentless run, getting everything that was available to him, and they'll mark him down at the 40.
No mystery on that play. With the lead, we are going to run the ball. You know it's coming, and we are running right at you, right into the teeth of the defense, and they're still able to get a nice game.
And the Canes can play this second down a lot of ways with just a few yards to go. From the gun, he leaves it with the basket. He's got enough for the first down, and that ought to be enough to put them in victory formation for the rest of this one.
I think you have to like what you see if you're the coaching staff here. Your offense is on the field, and it looks like you got a pretty good drive going, and you're just going to try and keep this thing marching, keep the clock ticking. You've got a really nice lead here late. Just want to find ways to keep the chains moving. They're doing that.
They'll ride the hot hand. He's got enough for the first down, and that ought to do it. They ought to be able to run out the clock from here.
Everything going the offense's way. They're trying to ice this game late. They've got a really nice lead, so you just want to run the ball, high percentage throws, and keep the chains moving, and they're doing that. This has been a beautiful drive to watch. Offense continues to stay in a nice rhythm here late.
Running out the clock seems to be a mere formality here as they are ready to snap it in victory formation. And they take a knee on 4th down, having inflicted enough damage, and that ought to do it. Coming into this one, we wondered whether these guys were a little bit overrated, and certainly they did nothing to dispel that notion.
They were playing angry today, and I know talking to some of their players, David, coming into this game, they felt like they were being disrespected. A lot of people thought their opponent might get them today, so they took this opportunity to make a statement and make an example